Hello there, my lovely sisters. God bless you, and hope you're doing great and you're enjoying the journey so far. We are on day, I don't know, is it 15 or 16? It's like coach has lost track, but we are good to go. We are good to go. So today is the second day of our intermittent fasting challenge. And I just thought I'd make this quick audio just for us to look at some of the common mistakes that we could make with intermittent fasting, some of the dangers of it, and of course some of the risks associated to it. What should we be careful for? What should we watch out for? So I think it's already a given that intermittent fasting is good. It's a good way of life, and we are not just challenging ourselves to do this for a few days. We're trying to get into the rhythm so that we can continue with it forever. Yeah, of course, we're going to be making variations as circumstances change in life, but this is really meant to become a lifestyle. I've been doing intermittent fasting now for, I don't know, maybe close to a year. I started last year, and yeah, there are times when I go out of track. There are times when I don't really follow it, but no matter where I am, I kind of stick to it. It's because it's quite easy to follow. It's quite easy to follow, and it's really refreshing. And then when you see the results not just like you're losing weight, but the way you feel, it's really, really motivating. So let us look at some of the common mistakes that we could make with intermittent fasting. The first mistake that I have on my list, like I said, this is a summary of a bit of research and some of the videos that we posted yesterday, which we watched yesterday. I don't have any 100% guarantee on this or on anything that I share. Like I told you before, I'm not an expert. What I'm sharing with you are just things that I have researched on, that I'm personally convinced of, and also from my personal experience. So if you listen to something that I say and you think, no, it doesn't make any sense, I don't want to do this, then you're free not to do it. There is no must, okay? And if you also have a different opinion, you feel free to share with me. You feel free to let me know, because we are growing together. Nobody has all the answers. Not even the experts, the so-called experts, have all the answers. We all learn and grow each day. So, just for the records, and feel free to always share your concerns, share your questions, share your opinions, so that we grow together, we correct ourselves together, and we learn together. So mistake number one is spiking insulin. So what is that? I didn't even know what this was until during the last program, when I sent one of the participants to research on this, and she came back and started talking about insulin. I had no idea what that was. So what is insulin? Insulin is the substance that is produced. Now I'm just speaking in layman's language. It's a substance that is produced when we eat. So when we start chewing, the body produces insulin to kind of receive the food and then work on it. I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor. However, this is the thing. When we are in the fasting mood, the body is, the digestion goes to an end. It kind of digests everything that we had in our system, and then it takes a break. So it is done and it takes a break. And it is during this break that the healing process takes off. So it begins to heal. So cells begin to heal. The body now has time, because it's no more focusing on digestion. It now begins to heal us. It now begins to do all those other wonderful things that it can do when it's not digesting. So the moment that we eat something, the moment that we take in something which the body recognizes as food, then insulin comes up again, and then the body is now ready to start digestion. So it interrupts that healing, and then it starts trying to digest the food that you're taking in. And that is how the fast is broken. It is no good anymore. The healing process has been broken. So it's very important that we stick to those substances that we are sure will not break the fast, that we are sure will not set the body into commotion, into confusion. And those things are water, unsweetened tea, and unsweetened coffee. So these things are neutral. The body does not begin to react when it gets these things. So insulin is not spiked. Now, on this point, I would like to say something about lemon water. So what about our lemon water, which we've all grown to love, which we've all grown to cherish? I don't know. I've tried to research on it, like I shared yesterday. There are people who say yes, lemon water will spike insulin, it will break your fast. There are others who say no, lemon water is nothing. The lemon concentration in it is so little that the body will not even recognize this. But because I'm torn in between, and sincerely I don't want to do anything that will risk my fast and just rip me of all those wonderful benefits that come with it, I've decided to stop drinking lemon water during the fasting period, and I'm going to drink my lemon water just when I'm breaking my fast. So like today, because I ate up till about 7:30 yesterday, that's not really my rhythm. I plan to continue with the 6 o'clock, but yesterday there was just I just had some issues, so I had to push my dinner far behind. So I'll be breaking my fast at 10:30. Ooh, that's in 45 minutes, and I will begin by drinking my lemon water. So it is now in the eating window, okay? But what does that mean for you? You should continue drinking your lemon water first thing in the morning, because I just want to do this for about a week and see how my body reacts, okay? Then I can tell whether the body really has whether lemon water really has an effect on our fasting or not. So I will be able to tell by the end of 1 week. Then we can make a final decision on that, whether we all should join that crew. But please just give me the chance to make that research. You continue drinking your lemon water first thing in the morning, or whenever you like. And so that when I bring my feedback, you can also compare it to what you have already experienced. I hope this makes a bit of sense. Then the second mistake that we make during intermittent fasting is that because we have this window where we can eat, and intermittent fasting does not really tell you don't eat this, don't eat that. It just says don't eat at a particular time. So because we have that freedom to eat anything during the 8 hours window or whatever window we have, depending on what kind of fasting we're doing, but we right now we're doing the 16-8. So the first, we could make the mistake of making poor food choices, and that is really detrimental. So you could actually just start eating any kind of rubbish because you're like, oh hey, this is my eating window, so let me eat anything, let me eat whatever I feel like eating. I'm not saying that you should not eat things that you like. I'm not saying that you should not follow your cravings. If you're really craving something, like Dr. Emeka said yesterday, if you're really craving something, then please go ahead and eat it. But just be conscious and eat it in a good quantity. Because if you keep depriving yourself, you're going to get to a point where you indulge, and that will really be detrimental. We don't want that. So we need to be conscious of what we are eating during that 8-hour window. And that is why when we started the program, I didn't introduce intermittent fasting immediately, because I knew that that would have been too much and it would have been difficult to settle down. So I started by helping us develop that consciousness of healthy food choices, so that when we get to intermittent fasting, you have already had the rhythm of making healthy food choices, and then even in your eating window, you will still make those healthy food choices. So it's like you have a strong foundation already, and now you can build on that foundation. Then this also brings us to the third mistake that we sometimes make, is having the wrong balance of food. So like Dr. Emeka said yesterday, our goals determine our variety, and that is our balance. So we are looking at the three main food classes, that is fat, protein, and carbohydrates, right? So our goals will determine how we're going to vary and balance those three classes. So for example, if you really want to lose weight, if your main goal is to lose weight, then you should be reducing the amount of carbohydrates that you are eating, especially in the evening time. You should be really reducing the amount of carbohydrates you're eating. So if, for example, your normal ratio of carbohydrates was, let's say, of 5 potatoes, even though potatoes are really good, but they are still carbohydrates, then you can reduce it to 2.5. You can reduce it to 3. If you used to eat like 2 loaves of bread every day, you can reduce it to 1. Also having in mind that you're going to keep reducing, okay? So reduce your carbohydrate intake, increase your protein intake, also increase your fat intake, and not just any kind of fat, healthy fats. we've been talking about avocado. You can't talk about avocado enough. Avocado is a healthy source of fat. You also have from fish, you get healthy source of fat, yeah, and also protein. Then you have nuts, walnuts, almonds, and everything. They are healthy sources of fat, but make sure you're not exaggerating. Like she said, she could count 21 almonds to eat, so just take it, be realistic. Then when you're going for oil, you should look at olive oil. Olive oil is very nice, it's very healthy. Coconut oil is good. What other kind of oil is there? Palm oil is also nice when it is well made. Yeah, so go for healthy sources of fat. Don't be afraid of fat, just be afraid of bad fat. Okay. And another question is butter or margarine, which one is better? I don't know, for some reason I don't buy margarine anymore. I just go with butter, but scientists, they'll continue to argue on which one is better. At the end of the day, it's just about having that healthy balance. So don't be afraid of fat even when you want to lose weight, because your body needs that fat. And remember, you are cutting back on carbohydrates, so your body will be falling back on the excess fat to have energy, and that is what causes the eventual weight loss. So don't be afraid of eating healthy fats, because your body needs it to have that energy. Then if your goal is to just to maintain your weight, you don't really necessarily want to lose weight, you just want to remain fit, then you can try to balance all the three classes. So you have the same 1/3 fat, 1/3 protein, and 1/3 carbohydrates. But then when you go to carbohydrates, make sure you're not eating empty, useless carbohydrates like white bread, like white pasta, like white rice, like all these starchy things, cakes and all the like. Hey, every now and then you can indulge in them. You can eat them, yeah. I eat cake. My God, I eat cake. I eat fried plantain. But then you always have to know quantity. Hold yourself, keep yourself on track. Have yourself under control. Be mindful of what you are eating. Know when it's time to say stop. So when you're going for carbohydrates, go for those nourishing carbohydrates, those complex carbohydrates, which you can find in potatoes, which you can find in quinoa, which you can find in broccoli, in all those vegetables. Yeah, those are all sources of carbohydrates. We're going to come to fufu, supplements of or replacements of fufu. You can make fufu with cabbage, because cabbage is carbohydrate, but it's a good carbohydrate. You can have also broccoli fufu. It's also carbohydrate, but it's a good carbohydrate. So you can eat those ones, and you can really be happy eating them, because they are actually sources of fiber, so they are good carbohydrates. And then if your own goal is to build muscles, really like bodybuilding, then you should have more protein. You should have more protein, less fat, and then more carbohydrates. I think it was like that. But we are not really building. We are not really professionals, So I think just having it balanced, having some carbohydrates in a normal balanced way, will also help you build just enough muscles to tone your body. Then the fourth mistake that we make for intermittent fasting is that we shock the system when we're breaking our fast. So imagine you've not eaten for 16 hours. Your system has cooled down and everything. And then you come to break your fast and you just hit it hard. You just hit it hard with something like I don't know, some heavy fufu and arrow, or some some plantain, some hot plantain and dole or whatever. I don't know. That is too rough for the body. It's a rough awakening. Not to say that it's going to kill you. No, it's not going to kill you. But then you could have stomach problems. You could have complications, and you could just set the system in disorder. So it's important to break your fast. You do it gradually. Like for me, I'm going to be starting with green tea. No, not green tea. With my lemon water. I'll drink my lemon water, and then I'll wait for a bit, maybe about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then I can eat something, and I'll still be careful that it is not too heavy. You can break your fast with maybe a Greek yogurt or some soup, without necessarily having carbohydrates on it. Or things like that, but just make sure you're taking it easy. You're breaking your fast gradually. Don't shock your system too much. And then the last mistake that we could be making during the fasting period is that we are not drinking enough water. We are not drinking enough fluids, and you know very well that it is drinking those fluids that's going to help you, forget get over those hunger pangs and things like that. Okay, so the video is really getting too long. Now let's come to the dangers of intermittent fasting. One of the dangers is that we could overeat. We could overeat. We could stuff everything in us before the window closes. So you're like, oh, I have 8 hours to eat. So it's not just about making even the wrong food choices. It's like eating too much because you're like, okay, let me eat everything I can eat now. All you can eat is like you're now at a buffet. All you can eat. Let me eat everything I can eat now before my window closes. But when you do that, you counter the effect of intermittent fasting because your body, your system is going to spend much longer trying to digest all that excess food and probably the excess junk that you've eaten. So you need to be conscious of this, and you need to make mature decisions on how you're going to eat. Like I said, we already have the good foundation, and so we are good to go. When you have that good foundation of making good food choices and having your quantities also under control, then you are good to go. So that's the main danger that I saw with intermittent fasting. Then now we come to the risk. So it's very important. I said this at the start of the program. Dr. Emeka said this also in her video yesterday, and it's very important that before any program like this that is going to need a lifestyle change, check with your doctor. Go to your doctor, ask, I want to start intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is nothing new. So when you just say that, the doctor will definitely know, is it okay with me? What do you think? What can you advise me? Then maybe they're going to, because they have your medical record, they could say, no, you're like this, you're like this. You can't do that. Or they would say, okay, let's do a blood test, let's do some new tests and just see where you're standing right now. Have the okay from your doctor. Have that okay from your doctor before you continue with this intermittent fasting. Secondly, if you're breastfeeding, if you're trying to conceive, or if you're already pregnant, then intermittent fasting is not for you. Okay, that's what we heard from Dr. Emeka yesterday. That's a medical doctor, by the way, even though she wasn't giving any medical advice. But she said it is not for you because this involves just long periods of not eating, and you just have to balance it out. I remember our sister who shared with us that she fainted last time. We know she's also breastfeeding, and I talked with her, and she was going to make the adjustments that are necessary and eat well so that baby is not at a loss, and she too is not fainting. She too is not weak. She too is not depriving herself of the nutrients and the strength that she needs. So like we said, this is a lifestyle program. This is a lifestyle method, intermittent fasting. So if you're pregnant, if you're trying to conceive, if you're breastfeeding, don't do intermittent fasting. You can always get back to it when the situation has changed. Okay, so just continue with your healthy living as we have been doing so far. Don't eat after 6 p.m. Keep time between your last meal and the time you're going to bed, at least 3 hours, so that you don't overwork your system, so that you sleep well. And then when you get up in the morning, you drink your lemon water. Not too much lemon. Like I said, one pressed lemon is enough for your 4 glasses of water. Don't take too much because we're not drinking lemon juice. It's lemon water. There's a difference. Yeah. And then you eat your healthy breakfast. You have your healthy snacks, and you are good to go. You don't need to do intermittent fasting to be healthy. Not everybody does intermittent fasting and they are also healthy. It's all about making healthy food choices. Okay, my lovely sisters, my goal is to have this video below 20 minutes, and we are on 18, so I think we're good to go. So that is it from me. Maybe I forgot something. If you have something to add, if you have something to share, if you have a question, please go ahead and share, and let us continue to learn and grow together. God bless you. And keep being active on the forum. When you're active, it's just so much better for all of us. And it's also more interesting. So thank you very much. And God bless you. Bye-bye.